My name is Mel.
And I'm Miss Lexi.
And I want to welcome you to our awesome lessons where we learn about Jesus and the Bible. But that's not all we learn about. In fact, today we're learning about animals and going into the wild.
We are in for a treat today. The animal we're talking about is super awesome at playing with Legos.
What? We're talking about the beaver, and they definitely do not play with Legos.
But I thought you said that beavers were really good at building stuff. What else would they be building if it's not an awesome rocket ship or a tower with Legos?
No. Beavers build houses out of wood that they get from trees.
Oh, well, I would not want to sleep on a bed made of pokey sticks and branches.
Well, beaver houses are not at all like our houses. Here, let's take a closer look.
The beaver is mainly a nocturnal animal, which means it stays awake and does most of its work at night. The front teeth of a beaver are large and they never stop growing. They are also orange. Beavers use their tails to slap the water when they want to warn their families that a predator is coming. Beavers are slow on land, but they are great swimmers. They have feet that are webbed that helps them swim really fast. A beaver can stay underwater for up to 15 minutes. Beavers are herbivores, which means they only eat plants. Beavers can live up to 24 years in the wild. Beavers are the second largest rodent in the world after the capybara. Beavers are beneficial to the environment. They are instrumental in creating homes for other animals and controlling flooding and erosion, all by building their houses. A beaver's tail is flat with large blackish scales.
Man, beavers are very interesting, not just because of their orange teeth, but because of how much they can do. How can a small animal build things that are so amazing? God made beavers so that they could have all the tools they need to do everything they were meant to do. That kind of sounds like how He made us. God actually made you and me knowing that we would be able to do really hard things. He has even given us every tool we need to do so. I'm thankful that He gave us skills to build like the beaver instead of large orange bug teeth, aren't you? Let's talk about a story in the Bible when God asked someone to build something great, but they had to find all the right tools and really trust God. Here we go.
There was a time in the Bible when the whole world was not nice to each other. Everyone worshiped false idols and hurt each other. God's ways had been forgotten by everyone except one man. His name was Noah. Noah remembered God in everything he did. Even though everyone else was turning away from God, Noah continued to be the only one who still worshiped Him. The bad things that were happening on earth made God so sad, and He knew that He had to fix it. He decided to send a flood to erase the mean things on earth. God spoke to Noah and told him about His plan. He told Noah to build an ark so that him and his family would be okay from the flood. Noah had a very big task from God. God went on to describe how to build this ark. It had to be big enough to fit not only Noah's family, but also 2 of every single animal. In other words, he had to make a giant floating zoo. Noah trusted God and followed every instruction, and God provided everything he needed, including the animals. The day came when the ark was finished. Noah worked so hard and built it exactly the way God had told him. When the animals were loaded onto the boat and Noah and his family were there too, God sent the flood. The ark flooded on the water that covered the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. The water did not fully dry up until a couple months later, and Noah, his family, and the animals were saved and finally able to start their life on the dry earth once again.
Noah had a huge task in front of him. Not only was God asking him to do something big, but Noah didn't have anyone who believed in him. I'm sure that made him so sad. He had to trust God that he was capable to do all that he was asked. He also had to trust God that God would give him the tools he needed to build. So I'll ask you, did God come through for Noah in our Bible story? Yes, he did, and he always does. God knows us more than we know ourselves, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it does make sense because he made us. He knows everything that we can do and never asks us to do something that we couldn't handle. Like when your mom and dad may ask you to clean up your toys because they know that you are big enough to do it, but they probably wouldn't ask you to drive the car because you don't have all the tools you need just yet. In the same way, God has given us everything we need to build his kingdom and do what he has called us to. Cool, right? Well, there's one more thing we have to do before we go. Let's memorize with Mel.
Hey guys, welcome back to Memorizing with Mel. Who's having fun learning about beavers and their orange teeth and the great task that God gave Noah to do? That was a crazy story, right? Well, let's get back to our task and do our memory verse. Now, if you have forgotten it or are new to this series, our memory verse is, "Let everything that has breath praise the Lord." Now, on a count of 3, everybody, let's stand up, do our favorite beaver impression. Something like this. You guys think you can do it with me? All right, on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Everybody stand up and let's beaver it out. Awesome. Great job, you guys. You looked so real, like almost real beavers. Now, everybody, let's go back to our memory verse, which is, "Let everything that has breath praise the Lord." Do you think we can do it one more time? Here we go. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Well, it's been so great doing this memory verse with you. Can't wait to see you next week.